Hey guys, this is Dave from Pet Talks. I just thought I should do a quick tutorial on how to make a microworm culture. All you need is oatmeal, yeast, an existing culture, and a brand new container with a couple holes on top. My yeast may look a little bit different, but that's because I supplemented it with a couple extra vitamins that I usually use for a lot of my fish food. Okay, so I won't go into detail on what these vitamins are, but just a general idea of what you want to add to the yeast if you feel like you need a little bit more vitamins. Okay, so first thing you want to do is you want to poke holes on the top of the lid using a needle or using a thumbtack. You want it to be small enough for gas to be passed through the container without having to worry about the worms escaping. Okay, so first you're going to add the oatmeal to the container. It doesn't matter how much you put because you just want there to be enough oatmeal for the yeast and for the worms to be on top of. Okay, so you're going to add a little bit of water to the yeast, and you're just going to add enough so that, it's about a 50-50 consistency. That way that all the oatmeal is a little bit wet and not too wet. Okay, so next you're going to add your yeast. I like to sprinkle the yeast on the very top using a spoon. However you do it, it's entirely up to you, but I like to use a spoon as my personal preference. Now I personally like to have a decently thick layer of yeast, that way that the worms have enough food to actually survive and last a while. And then you just shake it to even it out. Okay, so next I would like to add a little bit of water to the container, and instead of just pouring water in, I like to use a spray bottle because that gives it a little bit of an even distribution of water. And then I just shake it around to get the top layer to move and get the under layers to get a little bit of water. So I like to put a lot of water, that way that even the bottom layers of yeast get enough water. Okay, so next you want to get your existing culture, and you want to get some worms from that culture into your new culture. Now you just open up the lid, and then you see the worms on the side of the container. Those are the healthy worms that you want to get into your new culture. Now you can definitely tell that they're alive by seeing how much they wiggle on the side. If I could keep my hands steady. But you want to take a toothpick or a spoon and scoop them off the side of the container, and then wipe them off into your new container and start your new culture. Okay, so using a toothpick, I wipe off the sides of the old container to get as many healthy worms as I can to put into the new culture. Usually if the culture is pretty old, it would be best to scoop off the top of the old culture, but considering this one is still decently established that I could actually get some worms off the side, I decided to wipe off as much as I can into the new culture. Okay, so it should look like this after a couple of repetitions. Just give it a couple days to a couple of weeks to reproduce and get the numbers back up again. The culture has fully established properly when you start seeing them crawling on the sides again. And once you see them crawling on the sides, that's a sign that you can start using the culture and that the culture is doing well. If you see them start to recede again, you should start another culture. Okay, all that's left is to put the lid on top. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this was helpful. This is David, and that was a great pet talk.